Caution, the content of this podcast is so spicy, your eyebrows might catch on fire. Listener discretion is advised. And your episode begins in 3, 2, 1. All right, Joey, you ready? You got the fire extinguisher?
Honey, the firemen are across the street. Maybe we set this bitch on fire or set off the alarms at least so they'll come rescue us. We may have new guests on the podcast.
All right, you ready, Birdie?
I'm ready. Light
All
it
right.
up. Oh, shit.
The drink is on fire.
Fire!
Lexx, you have fucking outdone yourself.
I just needed an excuse to do a flaming cocktail.
Each and every episode, you keep putting me to shame with your drink concoctions.
Same. I really need to level up my next one.
No, you don't.
No, I really do. This is incredible. I feel like we're at an epic, fancy Polynesian style 70s joint.
So amid this one up, I'm calling it the Hell's Gate.
Hell yeah.
Not all the wonderful alcohol burns off. You can just blow it out.
You knew I was worried about that. You could just tell the longer it stayed lit. I was like, but the booze. But the booze.
Oh my goodness. Hello, my lovelies. Thanks for joining us. It's already started a little crazy.
Our hair's not on fire, but our drink is.
Hey! Woohoo! Oh, welcome to the Lusty Library podcast, where we talk about cocks and we drink cocktails.
I love that the cocks had to come first in the list.
Hey, it had to come back. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. So let me tell you a little bit about what we do. We pick a book that none of us have read before, and we read it. And the only thing that we say is it must be a good story and it must have smut. Hopefully with a capital S-M-U-T. Then we have some drinks and we talk about it. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Hopefully you've done your homework, already dropped on by the lustylibrarypodcast.com, picked up that lovely drink recipe, and you're sitting here sharing with us. You guys excited for this?
I'm so excited, especially after the last book we read.
Right?
This was a palate cleanse.
We talked about that. Joey's like, I think I'm going to pick a dark romance. I'm like, all right, then I need to pick something fun.
Yeah.
Today, we are going to be talking about My Funny Demon Valentine by Aurora Asher.
Oh, wait a minute. Your Boston didn't come out. You didn't say Aurora.
Look, I worked hard at that.
Yes, I know.
All righty, let me give you a little summary. Asmodeus, Prince of Hell, just wants to make music, jazz specifically. Unfortunately, he's a demon, and he's supposed to be evil. Clearly for Ash, a career as a musician isn't exactly an option. Plus, he's cursed. Sick of playing by the rules, Ash and his brothers escape hell in search of freedom on Earth. But it's harder than they thought to keep their enemies off their tail. The 4 rogues quickly become the underworld's most wanted, and if they're caught, the consequences will be dire. Yet, everything changes for Ash when he meets a beautiful violinist who can see through his curse. It must be too good to be true, but no matter the risk, he has to have her. Evangeline Gregory is just your average human. She works at a jazz bar. What average human being works at a jazz bar and...
I know. I thought about that too when you said it.
She works at a jazz bar, plays gigs on the weekends, and apparently hallucinates demons. At least that's what Eva tells herself when, moments after she meets the man of her dreams, she sees him shift into a 7-foot-tall monster. Not believing her own eyes, Eva decides to investigate and soon finds herself caught in the middle of a supernatural clusterfuck of an epic proportions. Plus, Ash isn't the only one keeping secrets, and the search for answers reveals a shocking truth that will change the course of her life forever. Or maybe just doom it. Eva and Ash will learn the path to love can be complete hell.
This whole book is so tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah,
she's just an average jazz playing violinist. She's super hot and she does all these things. At least that's what she tells herself.
So we got Ash, Asmodeus, and his 3 brothers who have escaped hell, and they're all demons. So what's the first thing you do when you escape hell? Do you go find a safe place to hide?
No.
Do you go build a fortress where you protect yourself?
No.
Where do you guys go?
A bar in Montreal, Canada, ladies and gentlemen.
Time to go clubbing.
I mean, yeah. Have you ever heard of a demon that wants to go hide?
All right, fair enough.
They just want to
fair
go
enough.
wreak fucking havoc and fuck around.
And the key
Right?
term here is fuck around.
Yeah.
Who are the other brothers?
Mephistopheles.
Love.
Meth for short.
Meth for
Meth.
short.
Do not confuse it with meth.
Yeah.
He is not a drug. Meth.
Yes.
PH. Belial.
Who is a king of hell? Who knew that it wasn't just Lucifer?
It's a whole world. So there's multiple lands and kings. You learn something new every day, right? Read a book, people.
Of course, I had to go look up some of the angel lore. And Belial is another fallen angel. Mephistopheles is the demon from Faust, which when I saw that, I was like, oh, nice touch, Aurora. And then I didn't know anything about Rome. He does have like a connection to animals and does sometimes show up as a big black crow, which
That's
is
cool.
why during the book he gets along with a lot of the animals. And I'm like, oh, that's a nice touch. You know me in mythology. There's even a touch of it in the book. I'm going to be like, oh, let me go down this rabbit hole.
Totally.
What?
Nerd.
Oh, fuck off. That's why you keep me around.
Yeah. You're cute like that.
I'm here to hold down that group of folks. I'm the representative. Duly elected. So they're at the club, and the 3 brothers are like, yeah, this is fantastic. The music, the beats, all the hotties. Let's go get laid. Ash kind of holds back, and they're like, come on, this is your chance. And he's like, no, never mind. I'm just here to listen to the music. And we find out that Ash is cursed, and that any person that could possibly look upon him with desire actually feels absolutely no desire with him. There were all kinds of fun phrases like, looks at me like dirty dish towels or dirty sneakers or something.
Yeah, or who enjoys me as much as their dining room table.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I was like, I'm sorry, but as a furniture designer, I've definitely felt things towards the dining table.
What? Oh, my God. Oh. Listeners, I'm looking for 2 new best friends in life. Applications can be submitted to the Lusty Library podcast.com. Thank you very much.
New lineup for next season.
I mean, have you met me? Nobody should be surprised by this.
No, good design is hot. Yeah. The brothers give up on him. They go out to go find their playthings for the night.
Yes. Love that.
Ash hangs back at the bar and the DJ set ends. A new person comes up and he is immediately drawn to this beautiful woman who shows up with a violin keyboard and starts her DJ set. And it is absolutely still club music, but it has this amazing quality. It's like elevated. He says it's almost symphonic. And he's entranced both by the music and the woman. We also find out another part of the curse is he is missing most of his senses. Doesn't see in color.
He can't taste anything. He can't smell anything. He actually can't feel very much either, except on some very sensitive extremities.
But hearing is still there, and that's why music affects him so much. It's one of the few things he can still enjoy. So that was our introduction to Eva. What did you guys think of Eva?
I love her. I want to be her. She sounds so cool.
I love the fact that she saw this guy, the only person in the entire club who was paying any attention to her set. And she, little ballsy bitch, goes right up to him and starts to talk to him.
Oh, she doesn't just go up to talk to him. After her set, the brothers come back to Ash and they've each got extra playthings and entourage with them. They're like, hey, Ash, we brought some extras. They're willing to share. Doesn't matter if they find you attractive or not. They'll do it for us. You want to have some fun? And he's like, fuck no, I'm not interested. And then you hear a little voice. Hey, excuse me.
And of course, the brothers think that she is talking to them.
Yeah.
I loved this. And she's like strong enough to be like, no, I'm sorry.
No, move aside, big boy.
I love that she does that to Belle. This 7-foot muscle mountain of a man. I'm picturing Norse god.
Yes, that's exactly
He's
what I pictured.
blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's like, excuse me, could you move?
Yeah.
Because she has never seen anybody as beautiful as Ash.
Oh,
Ugh.
so she can see him and she's attracted to him.
Mhm.
Dun, dun, dun. He's like, Oh, it's so painful how awkward he is. But I loved it.
What did we think of Ash?
He's super hot. He's awesome. He's into music. He has long, dark hair. And he's just like brooding bro in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like quiet and he's not an asshole throwing himself at women. Love it.
Well, I also love that, like, he seems to have the social maturity of, like, a 15-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of endearing, and he keeps slipping when she asks him questions like, where are you from? And he's like, oh, around. How many times does he almost say, like, yeah, once since we've reached here?
Yeah.
Almost, like, blowing that he's from a whole nother place.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, we escaped hell. I mean,
I love that you could have taken that as he came from a bad situation.
Totally, yeah. I actually think she over-dramatized that moment. But yeah, I loved everything about both of them together.
Mm-hmm. I loved watching them at the bar and talking about music and just having that connection.
She had gotten so tipsy, and she's like, you're so hot, I can't keep it in my pants.
Yeah.
Such a good line. Aside from the fact that he's a demon, this is pretty much a typical romance. They go to exchange numbers, and it's super awkward.
Well, he just arrived on Earth, and he doesn't have a phone.
Yeah.
Eva's like waiting for him to ask for her phone number, and nothing happens. And she's like, I'll need your number if we're going to go to this jazz club later in the week. And he's like, I don't have a phone. Just this very awkward interaction.
We just got here. You give me your number, and I'll call you as soon as I have a phone.
And then, of course, he doesn't write it down. So Eva's like, the dude ain't calling me ever. This is not going to happen.
So, you think it's going to be an awkward end of the night. And then, whoa, gunshots in the club. I love the first thing he does is he protects her.
Oh, yeah.
To the ground, covers her with his body.
And he takes a hit protecting her.
Yeah. And
Hot.
He picks her up, and then he jumps on top of the bar, across the side, back down to get her out.
Spider-Man level.
Yeah.
Like, hardcore.
And gets her outside, and she's like, okay, let's run. And he's like, no, I got to go back for my brothers. So he goes back in.
Covered in blood.
And she's like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
He went back in. I need to go make sure he's okay.
Fucking crazy bitch.
She's a little tipsy, too. I mean, admittedly.
Okay. It's true. Yeah.
So she goes back into the bar. She's like ducking down to make sure no other gunfire is happening. She's hiding behind the bar. And she sees some creepy shit. Creepy shit.
Creepy is one word for it, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, 7-foot tall, big, red, horned being with wings. And I love the little phrase of familiar black hair.
Yeah.
Durr. Come on.
And like fully black eyes with no iris. Super cool.
That was the creepiest part of it all. I'm like,
Ugh, so creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And creepy gargoyle, and then 3 other kind of creepy looking guys that look strangely like the brothers.
Yeah. And I love the like brother banter where it's like, you kill it. No, you kill it. Well,
I have to do the hard part at the end, so you do this part.
Well, you have to burn it. Well, kill it first. You have to decapitate it. Well, you decapitate it. No, you do it since I'm doing the burning. Okay. And so she sees the redheaded demon slash the throat. And I love the description, too. It's not like a quick, like, it's, this is a lot of hard work. Pulling the head off. Eva is starting to think maybe she's losing it a little. Maybe she's hallucinated. Then when she gets home, what does she do?
Oh, God, I love this. Where she's just like, yeah, hi, Mom. Like, what? You called your mom? But then when her mom starts talking, I'm like, oh, I would call my mom too if this was my mom.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're talking hippie, earthy, crunchy, artist, spiritual, open to different things.
Yeah. You know, it was partially a call of like, hey, Mom, you might see this on the news. Just wanted to make sure you knew I'm okay. Also, I think I saw this thing. And Mom thinks it might be trauma. She might need to go talk to somebody. Hey, I think your dad was into supernatural stuff for a while we were working on an art project together. Let me ask him about these things. What were their names again?
Love it.
Her mom is like, okay, so if he calls you, go out on a date with him in a public place and then ask him all these questions. Ask him about his parents. You know, don't rule it out just yet.
Totally. Did you envision her mom when she got up out of bed and she's wandering around the house making coffee as she's talking to her, wearing like a kimono?
Oh, absolutely.
Not a bathrobe.
No,
it's
no,
a
no,
kimono.
no. A kimono.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Something way more artistic and extravagant.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, week goes by and Ash finally calls Eva back.
Well, the reason why it takes Ash a week to do that is because A, they finally found a place to live. B, they warded the ever-loving crap out of it with their blood, if I'm not mistaken, to make sure they weren't found by the people in the underworld looking for them. And C, he acquired a cell phone with Mint Mobile so that he could text her.
Eva doesn't know that this is why it took a week to call, but they make plans to go to the jazz club, the Bootleg. In the meantime, she has talked to her best friend Sky, too, who is a bartender at the Bootleg, all about Sky's love life and how Sky just can't find the right guy. Eva's trying to give her the talk of like, you have to stop giving it up. You got to hold out. Make them want. Eva's going to eat her own words very shortly. So anyway, we're going to head over to the jazz club. They're having their night out. She's buying him drinks. She's going to jam that night. And he's like, oh, did you bring your violin? And she's like, no, but I brought my da-da-da. It's a flute.
And it's funny because it's not like she pulls it out of a case. She just pulls it out of her
bag.
purse.
Yeah.
It is well used and loved to death. And she's going to play it on stage.
And I think it's funny because I thought of two things right away. First one was, I'm like, well, Lizzo made flute cool, so this works.
There's no way she brought a full-size concert flute in a bag.
Doesn't it break down?
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't not put that in a case.
Well, she did.
She just put it in her purse.
That, really hurts me. As a band kid, I was like, she's got to be talking about a different kind of flute. A shorter flute, a wooden flute. I don't know. It just can't be a full-size concert flute.
Hey, Aurora, if you're listening, hop on our social media and let us know what kind of flute went in the bag.
Yeah. How big is this bag? Is it fully assembled? Are there 3 parts? She was talking about it like it was a tiny flute.
Unknown.
I don't know.
I just went with it.
Yeah.
We're talking about Demons on Earth, and you're worried about whether or not we put the flute in a proper case.
Birdie's mind goes to very special places throughout these book readings.
Oh, nobody should be shocked by this.
So Ash gets the opportunity once again to see Eva play, and she jams on stage with some people she knows. So he's entranced. It's fantastic. She comes back down, and she gets him later on after some drinks and some very, very heavy talking into. He jams up there with them.
Yeah.
So good.
So cool. So hot. And I love that he was nervous going up there first. He was like, oh, he sits down at the piano. He's like, what am I going to do? And then he just balls his hands into a fist and cracks all of his knuckles and just slams down a chord and then just keeps going. I could feel it in my body. You know how when you go and see live music and, you're having drinks and it's that kind of a venue. And then all of a sudden, something new starts playing and the energy goes, all in that direction. I could just feel it. And I was, yes.
The coolest part was the simpatico because she starts playing her flute along with him.
Yes.
And they have a very natural ebb and flow. And you hear a couple of times in the book that the song came to a conclusion naturally. Like the two of them knew that it was time to wind it down and finish it up at the same time.
Birdie, you talk about chef kink. You love your alphas, Miss Joey. Musician kink.
Yeah.
Right here. Not necessarily rock star or anything like that. I'm talking about high-end musician and like when you're playing and everything just aligns. Yes.
I don't even need high-end musician. I will take any level of musician. It's just smoking hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I've seen some pretty poor players that try and seem like they're musicians and you're just like, oh no, just stop. Oh, sweetheart, you got to practice a little more.
If somebody's not great and they think they're great,
That's what I'm talking about.
Different.
Yeah.
But if they're not great and they just like to jam a little bit every once in a while, that's still cute and hot.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the people who think they're the shit and
they're not.
terrible.
No, that's not great. No. No, he's burning hot.
He's burning hot.
And all of a sudden, everybody else thinks he's burning hot too.
Oh, that's when he can see in color. And suddenly the smells and he sees her and he can see how she looks. He was actually like really happy to see that her eyes were gray.
Right.
He did see that for what it was.
Yeah.
They get backstage and
They start making out hot and heavy. Something about the music winds the two of them up.
and he's like, she smells so good. And hello, you're still in the club.
Yeah.
They start like hooting and hollering and whistling. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's get out of here.
She's like, my apartment's 2 blocks away. Let's go. We can walk there right now.
I usually love a slow burn, but I kind of enjoyed that this was just like, fuck, let's go.
15% for sex scene. We ripped the Band-Aid right off.
The chemistry was so good between the two of them.
Yeah.
It had to be a straight to bed for them. It worked perfectly.
Don't you know, our sexy stud has a little sample of what happens back at the apartment.
Yes. Since it went early in the book, makes sense to go early now. Give me my stud.
All right, here we go.
He picked her up again, fingers digging into her arse hard enough to bruise, and they were travelling once more. They hit a wall. He pressed her into it, fucking her against the drywall like his life depended on it. She threw her head back again, smacking it on the wall, of course, and clutched him desperately, lost to the wildness of the moment. Bed, where's your bedroom? But she couldn't speak. He was hitting her in just the right spot, and she started to come again. He moaned as her inner muscles convulsed around him, and they slid down to the ground like his legs couldn't hold them anymore. He fucked her on the floor, her body contorted in an awkward, half-bent position because there wasn't room to lie sideways in the hallway. It didn't matter. She soon discovered if she lifted one leg, she could brace it against the opposite wall and meet his thrusts with her own. He liked that, moaning some more, and his hand landed on the wall above her head. Then things got really serious. He was tensioned between the wall and floor, and she was pushing against the other wall with her leg, their bodies braced for maximum thrust action. And that was exactly what happened. Hard, hot, heavy pounding with sweat dripping and hair plastered to faces and necks. It was glorious. Heavenly.
Well, then.
I love that scene. I love that she's got her leg on the wall and she's pushing back into him. So if I'm not mistaken, they start on the piano.
Yeah, he goes down on her while she's on top of the piano
Which-
and makes her come 3 times in a row.
I love that.
Which has never happened to her before in her life, which I
Mhm.
loved. Yeah.
Then he picks her up and moves her to the kitchen counter.
Yeah.
She bangs her head on the doors.
At this point, there has been no penetration yet. And she's like, okay, do you have a condom? And he's like, oh, yeah, Belle said I would need one. And I just love that moment where he kind of like brings you out of it and you're like, what the fuck, dude? You are so awkward. You got to get your shit together.
So imagine from her view,
Yes.
this is the hottest man on God's green earth, which is a great analogy for this. And he's just fumbling around like he's never done this before.
But he's clearly done it
Oh,
before.
yeah.
So
Yes.
that's such a weird moment to think about from her perspective, where she's just like, this is clearly the most well-rounded man I've ever been with. And he's just learned that he needs a condom? What?
I think at that point she's a little cock drunk. And
so was I, but I was still like,
He tries to get to the bedroom, and they start to head down the hall, and they don't make it to the bedroom, do they?
love
No.
it.
so he starts fucking her up against the drywall, not just the wall, but the drywall. But I also picture this super narrow hallway. And she comes again, and that just fucks him up. So he can't even stand anymore. And then they're falling to the ground. And then, yes, like, let's use every surface to just get this as hard as possible.
Oh, it was a great scene.
It really was.
Aurora Asher has an excellent knack for engaging sex scenes. She really pulled out all the stops on this first one, though.
Yeah.
That scene, it made you feel that rush that you get when you first meet somebody and you're like totally, like you said, cock drunk. That feeling was so good. My only thing with almost all the sex scenes in this book was that I wanted them to be 5 more pages.
There was a good amount of sex, but they were no more than 2 pages.
Yeah.
It basically was a little bit until he got inside her, and it was 1 sentence before somebody was coming. And I'm like, if it happens that quickly.
It was so frustrating because she would be like, yeah, and then he made me come another time. And I'm like, but I want to hear all about it.
Right. Because they were well written. There just was not a lot of detail, and they were not drawn out.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so here's my one little thing about them.
Okay.
It's such a nerdy detail. They're written in third person. Past tense.
Oh my God. I love this so much.
And I like it when it's written first person. So, like, a lot of this book is written as third person detail, as opposed to I did this, I felt that, I put my fingers in there, or I felt his fingers in there. And it's just a little hotter to me when it's in first person detail.
Well, and that's the thing. And if you notice, if you read any other genre besides romance, third person is very popular.
Yeah.
In the romance realm, to make that connector, majority of writers write in first person.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll notice, and we've had a lot of it, dual narratives where the male and the female, you get both sides to it. So this third person thing, it's not one of my favorites, to tell you the truth.
You know, it's not poorly written. It's just a preference thing. And so, like, it made me just a little bit more removed.
This scene was definitely memorably hot and fun.
And you didn't have to wait long. 15% is pretty early in the book. So excited about that. The next morning occurs.
Yeah.
She wakes up and she's like, oh, fuck. I just slept with the guy that could be a demon. He's still sleeping in my bed, so let me go snoop around a little bit. So she goes into his wallet. No ID, no credit cards, no nothing, just cash. Then she proceeds to go to his cell phone. 3 contacts, his 3 brothers,
And
no
that's it.
apps, no nothing.
No lock on it.
No. And then while she is snooping his cell phone, it starts to ring.
Belle calls. She hands the phone off to Ash, and he's like, what? And he's like, where are you? He tells him where he is, and he's like, oh, did you get laid? Ash is embarrassed, and he's like, I'm not talking about this right now. I'm not talking to you right now. And Belle's like, well, you need to come home because we killed another gargoyle. And Ash is like, that's great. I'm going to stay here. Belle's like, no, you need to come back behind the wards. And Ash is like, no, I'm staying here. Bye.
And I love that she overhears him having this conversation.
Mhm.
Hears him say, you'd better not call me back unless it's a matter of life
Life
or
or death.
Okay. Interesting conversations.
And, you know, she's like, I'm going to go buy some pastries and I'll be back. And he's like, if you need me to leave, I can just go. And she's like, no, I want you to stay. I'm not good at this either, but I'm going to go get us some food. And he pays for the food, and that's lovely. So she goes to get breakfast. She comes back. They have sex again. They eat their pastries by the window. They're having a relaxing morning, and the phone rings again. So one of the brothers calls. Ash is like, I thought I said life or death. And Belle is freaking out. And this is a problem because when Belle freaks out, he gets his demon form. What happens with his demon form?
Shit gets on fire. So fucking great.
He could burn down the entire building if he loses his shit.
I just love the vision of this super fucking hot man with the blondest blonde, like kind of wavy hair.
Mm-hmm.
Just being engulfed in flames and just getting so angry. I just love it. They get a bucket of water to douse him. Yeah, like it's not just like magical fire. It's literal fire. They're worried about the building burning down. I love that this isn't a concern in hell because I assume everything's like flameproof down there because everything's on fire. Down there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Belle's having a rage attack and he's got to go. Sorry, Eva.
Well, and the thing is, every time Belle gets into these rages, apparently Ash is the only one who can talk him down. So the brothers call him to take care of it. And Ash is like, no, you figure it out. Brother hangs up on him because they want him to come and fix it. So he tries to call the other brother to go take care of it. That person picks up and is like, yeah, no, you do it. Ash has to go. Again, it's charmingly awkward. Gets back to the apartment and Belle is sitting there cooking. He's not on fire. He's making, fucking risotto? There's a lot of meals where Belle's cooking.
What is happening is that, yes, these are 4 demons. They all have rage issues, and they're finding these other things to help them cope.
Yes.
With these rage situations. So Ash loves to play music. Belle is really into cooking. Meth, he is fully tattooed, like every nook and cranny of his entire body.
And pierced.
Yeah. Rom likes to be at the gym, so he works out. So they're all finding these coping mechanisms to try to make them a little bit more normal. Belle, to calm himself down, sometimes will think of 5-course menus of what he's going to cook up in situations.
God, how do I find me a man with a coping mechanism that's
like
cooking
that.
5-course meals? Oh, that's great.
Ash is like, okay, well, he hasn't burst into flame yet, and I'm not going to poke the bear. I'm going to go take a shower.
Yeah.
And he gets back out of the shower and the meal is cooked.
Belle, even though Ash can't taste anything, makes him eat. And it's funny because demons don't need to eat to sustain life. But Belle makes them all sit down to dinner like a family.
I loved Mama Bear Belle.
Yes.
Loved that. They were all really trying to have this like human relationship in a way with each other. It was so cute.
And they live in this rat hole of an apartment, like in one of the worst sections of town. They describe Ash sleeping on like a mattress with one broken dresser, and that's it.
And a milk crate for a night's.
Yeah. So, family meeting, hey, looks like they notice we're missing from hell. They've started sending gargoyles out, and it looks like the hunter might be on our ass again. No, can't be the hunter. It'd be too soon. No. Belle's like, I still got connections back in hell. They said the hunter is out. And the hunter is fascinating. This demon that is known for going to Earth and pulling back either souls that escaped or demons that escaped.
He's like the bounty hunter for the demon world.
Right. And this particular one, which you guys are going to have to help me with the pronunciation of this name because I didn't listen to it. I've only read it.
Mm-hmm.
So hit me up. What's Mist's full name?
Nishetsu.
Nice. That's the one time we're going to say it in the podcast, folks.
Yes.
There's a reason why the author uses nicknames for the rest of the book. Mist is on their tail. So Big Brother Belle is like, all right, everybody stay behind the words for a while. Ash, not happy. Just had a connection with somebody for the first time in 3,000 years? Something like that. Not having enjoyable sex for 3,000 years. Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, he's willing to risk his life to get some. Yeah.
They do say, okay, we can go beyond the wards, but we've got to be able to set ourselves up so that we can't be seen once we're past the wards, which means they needed a special kind of blood.
They needed some Nephilim blood.
They talk about if they could just get some Nephilim blood. See, again, fun words. Then the other demons wouldn't be able to sense them and they could go around out in the world, live their lives.
The angels that came down to protect Earth started boinking human.
Boinking.
And this new little breed of babies will run around calling Nephilim. So half angel, half human.
And the angels think that they are an abomination. So they'll kill him. And the demons want them because then they can use them for their own purposes.
Yeah, because of course they found out that if they drink their blood,
dun, dun,
they're
dun.
untraceable.
Poor Ash can't go see Eva.
They sure as hell can talk on the phone.
I loved this.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time we've had this in one of our books.
Nope. Wild eyes, phone sex.
Oh, that's right. I've already purged that from my brain. For me, this overwrote the whole thing.
Yeah. This is a good one. This is a good one. He was bearing himself to her. They were so honest with each other. There was no agenda or like, I want him to think that I don't like him as much as I do. This phone sex moment was so great because they just really laid it out there like, I wish that I could see you. What are you wearing right now? Kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like, it was so good.
Well, I also loved that during the first one, we see it from his perspective and that after he comes, he was like, that was great. And she's like, yeah, it was. And he's like, wait, did you just do it too? And then her friend bursts.
Yeah, right.
She was just killing time waiting around for Sky to show up. He didn't expect that she was doing it too. But also then it gets broken up in sort of a funny way.
I also just loved the vision of a super ancient demon having phone sex.
So good.
It just goes to show how emotionally invested he is in her. And he
Mhm.
doesn't even realize how deep it is. He doesn't realize he is head over heels. He is a smitten kitten.
Because demons don't love.
Yes.
And so he doesn't even understand. What a cute concept.
It's so charming. I know.
It is.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, how they're able to get Nephilim blood is Belle gets a line on it. And I thought this was just an odd thing to all of a sudden happen. Another demon shows up.
Yes, he summons her. She's a
Right.
succubus.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of his crazy fucking ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, it absolutely gives crazy ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
vibes.
Yes.
Who can't let go.
And she is indebted to him. And I think it was like thousands and thousands of favors that she owed him. And they're down to the last 100.
Yep.
And sometimes she'll do him favors for free as long as he boinkies her.
And because she's a succubus, she feeds on his
life
power.
force. Yep.
Being a king of hell, second only to Lucifer. That's some good shit. And it's that totally that I can't quit you. I need that Nephilim blood. You've got a way to get it for me. And I don't want to have to use up my favors. All right. Yeah, I could do this.
He legitimately hates himself after he does
Yes!
it. Every time. Because
Yeah.
he's like, I said I wasn't going to do this again, and I fucking did it. I'm such a piece of shit.
But this is how they acquire the Nephilim blood. Once this is acquired, Ash can go back out with Eva.
Yes.
So once again, we're going to the bootleg.
Oh, but it's not just Ash meeting Eva.
No. I also love this.
The three brothers are like, we're coming too.
Oh my God. Can
Mhm.
you imagine this foursome showing up? And the four of them probably look like, you know how when you see like a basketball player out in the wild and you're like,
Yes.
holy shit, that person's tall. And they probably caused such a scene at a jazz club to have these four guys that look like crazy athletes show up so out of place there.
100%.
Yeah, it's so good.
And they go to talk to Eva. And she just doesn't give a shit. She sees they're beautiful, but not what's rocking her world.
And the funny part is the brothers are ribbing her because they're like, you sure you're not gay?
Yeah.
You can see him?
And she's like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Yeah.
Ash loves that she just stands up to them. She seems soft and smushy and fragile because she's human, and she's just got all this fire in her, and he loves it.
They respect her for it too.
Yeah.
So they're all there. And who's bartender? Yes.
It's the bestie, Sky.
Love it. This was so good.
Eva is so excited to finally introduce Ash to her bestie. And she goes, Sky, this is the guy. And she's like, uh-huh. Barely even registers that there is a body next to her friend.
I did want her to acknowledge a little bit more. Almost was acting like there wasn't even a person there, which
Yeah.
was
Right.
kind of strange.
Yeah. And she was pissed at Sky, though. This is the guy I've been talking about. Look at, he's beautiful. And she's like, huh?
Huh? What
What?
are you
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Not
all
even
right,
gonna.
that's nice. But wait a minute. Those are his brothers?
Yeah. I did enjoy the conversation, though, that happened afterwards between Belle and Sky.
Oh, yeah.
They're kindred spirits.
Uh-huh.
She relays the conversation to Belle that I'm swearing off men for 6 months because I had this conversation with Eva about, like, I just need to be doing this for me and not always giving it away and using sex as a thing. And I love how Belle relates it to his terrible relationship with the succubus.
It's comparable.
Yeah.
It's just so awesome that he's like, great. How long are you doing it for? 6 months? Okay, cool. I'll do it too. Love that.
He's inspired by her.
Love it. Totally want them to get together.
I know.
Yeah.
We're at the bootleg, and all the musicians that they jammed with last time want to do more with them. So up they go, they play, and then they ask Ash to stay and jam more. Eva's like, yeah, you do it solo. And she's so happy for him for his moment. And he's like, no, you can stay and jam with us. She's like, no, you do this for you. And it's this amazing experience for Ash. It's such a selfless little moment.
It was really cute. I think she also finds it incredibly hot to watch him play. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's for him and it's a little bit for her too.
What happens to, I don't know, some of the patrons at the club that might be of the persuasion that would find him attractive?
This kind of stressed me out on his behalf. Like the way they talked about like all the women swarming him like he's famous. Hey, how are you doing? Are you here with anyone tonight? Totally throwing themselves at him.
Oh, I love your hair.
Yeah, like
Can I
touching him.
That bitch.
Oh, yeah.
So they were at different levels. So, like, you get the kind of classy, flirty girl, and then it just starts leveling up. And then that bitch comes in that just like weasels her way around all the women. It's like, oh, can I touch your hair? Like, don't fucking touch.
No, I'm totally stressed out. It was like giving me claustrophobia.
I felt for Ash because 1 minute you are completely invisible to 90% of the population around you. And then all of a sudden women are throwing themselves at you. But he was looking for one person and one person only.
And she came to the rescue. Oh, I loved it.
It was so great. But then Sky sees her with him later and she's like, wait, this is the guy? He's so hot. She's like, what are you talking about? You just met him. She's like, no, I've never met him before. So Eva definitely got a little thrown at that moment.
It seems to be any time that Ash plays music and plays from his soul.
Demons don't have souls.
No, they don't. It seems to be that the curse diminishes for a bit. I mean, it ends up coming back up, but he has these moments where he gets off the stage. He again can see in color. He can smell everything. He can taste things. So for those brief moments after he's playing music, the curse is gone.
Yeah. So fast forward, they end up back at her place.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, there is some ass slapping and biting
Yes.
in this scene, which was a little mess for me.
Yes.
I love the way he talks about her ass.
Yeah. Is this the point where he was like, I never did get to fuck you on your piano?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, yes, callback. Great. I need to fulfill that.
I also love that he loves to watch how her body jiggles.
He loves that booty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
No skinny minis here.
I mean, she describes herself as needing to wear jeans for women with a really big ass.
I loved that. And he makes her feel petite and feminine and lovely.
Yeah.
Sling me around.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
They end up having a lovely time.
They've had beautiful, wonderful, dirty sex. The phone is ringing in the kitchen, and she sees this. Her dad, she's not answering it. It's 1:00 in the morning, her time.
And she doesn't want to think about dad during sex.
But he's texted her like 15 times, even using periods at the end of the sentences. So that's pretty serious. So she calls dad, and he's like, yeah, that guy you're dating?
She's like, how the fuck do you even know about this guy that I'm dating? He's like, your mother told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, Dad, this is too much. You're being overprotective. We'll talk tomorrow. I'm going to hang up.
No, get away from him. I'll be right there. You live several time zones away. How are you going to be right here? No, we'll talk tomorrow.
So she hangs up the phone. She feels somebody behind her, and she thinks it's Ash. She turns around, and there's a gray demon there. Is she hallucinating again?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, the introduction to Mist.
Underworld bounty hunter coming to take the boys back.
Ash comes out, sees Mist. Whole thing where he disappears and literally turns into mist. And so you get this whole thing of he teleports around and Ash keeps trying to get him. And it's so hard because he can just evaporate. So, apartment gets trashed and then Ash just got him and they just bust through the window. So she looks down out the broken glass and just sees Ash on the ground because Mist is gone somewhere. Ash jumps back up through the window.
It said that he landed like a superhero landing. I was like, yes. The fucking... It is pretty hot. So he lands back up and she's like, okay, so I wasn't hallucinating.
I love how from here on, she just continues to roll with it.
She does a pretty good job rolling with it.
He transforms sort of back down into his human form and she can see that he's hurt. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
They can't stay there. They need to go back to the apartment that has the wards on it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, I can't leave my cat.
Oh, my God, yeah.
God, yeah.
There she is trying to get her cat in the cat carrier. It's hissing because cats don't like demons. There was actually that cute little scene earlier when Ash was alone in the apartment and Thelonious came out. And they describe Ash's teeth elongating and the claws coming out.
Him hissing back at the cat.
I loved that scene, too. That was a sweet little moment. That was good.
So she gets the cat in the cat carrier, throws a bunch of shit in a backpack. I love that she's like, all right, here we go.
Like you said, she stoically remained calm.
Yes.
Throughout this entire process of finding out demons are real.
Yeah.
My life is in danger, and we must go now?
Yep.
Okay.
You're bleeding out? All right. Yeah. Do you have a stick of gum, please?
Yeah, right.
So he drives her car back to the brothers' apartment.
You mean the Indy 500 all the way back to the apartment?
Breaking every traffic law. It just becomes this info dump where I was like, okay, we're going to get the whole history. And Eva is the vehicle for get all the pieces in place. All right. Not my favorite part of the book, but that's okay. So we learn that angels are real. Demons are real. Witches are real. There's even a couple references of like vampires. Yeah, they're kind of descended from demons. So that's how they get that thing. In the next hour, she gets all of it between the car ride and once she gets to the brother's apartment. I'm like, okay, well, here's the world.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, though, in the context of the story. He turned into a demon in front of her. He has to explain shit now.
Yeah.
So, and he's trying to start everything out on a nice, honest footing.
Yes, because she had gotten a wonderful gem of advice from her mom that you need to be honest because a relationship built on lies, the foundation's terrible, then everything else crumbles.
Can you say foreshadowing?
Yeah.
That's like 6 shadowing. So she gets to the apartment, and the brothers are like, you brought a human here with a cat. Except for Rome is like, oh, hey, can I play with the cat?
Yeah, I love that so much.
And that Thelonious is totally just a traitor and like,
Comes out of the carrier and just jumps right into his arms.
yep. I have to give Eva props. Guy, that's my sort of boyfriend that I'm sort of in a new relationship with. Demon. All the brothers, demons. Escaped from hell. Wanted. Now they're on the run. I got to run with them. They'll fuck.
And as they're standing there, Ash basically just passes out
Yep.
because he's officially bled out. She has this next moment where she's like, what the fuck is happening to him? Is he going to die?
Nah, he's not going to die.
They're
It's
like,
just-
he's fine.
Part of his curse, he can't feel anything. And we discussed that earlier in the episode. So he's been stabbed. He's not feeling hurt. He's passing out due to blood loss.
Yeah,
Yes.
bleeding out.
He can't die from it. As long as they cauterize the wound, he'll eventually heal. He'll live.
So she's sitting there when they heat up a knife on the stove to
dark.
cauterize the wound. And she's like, wait. Didn't you mention there was another way we could do this to help him heal?
And they're like, nah, you don't want to like feed him your blood. That would be crazy.
He just needs a little bit of blood.
Well, I guess she's kind of kinky like that.
Yep. So she's like, yeah, put the knife away. Here we go. How do we do this? I love that it's not sweet and sensual or just like, here, let me drop a little bit of blood into his mouth. I love that she's like, fuck all those vampire books that says this is sexy. They warn her. They're like, okay, we're going to put your wrist near his mouth and he's going to clomp on.
Instinctually,
Yep.
he's going to know what to do, even though he's passed out.
Yep.
That was a cool moment. Yeah, it was terrifying.
Yep. I was like, that's what I picture every time you guys want to read these vampire novels
I
and how
know.
it's going to feel.
Yeah, I just kind of selectively choose to not think about that part.
He drinks her blood and
Immediately starts to heal.
Yeah.
Like rather fast. And they're like, oh, you got some superpower blood, don't you?
Chekhov's superpower
There
blood.
you go.
Yep.
it's all that hippie living she had growing
Right.
up.
Yeah.
Right.
They're trying to figure out, okay, where are they going to run to? Where are they going to go? Where are they going to?
This is so fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous.
This part was really the like suspension of disbelief moment where she's like on the phone with her mom talking and Belle comes over and just snatches the phone out of her hand like, hi, Mrs. Gregory. Hi. And just like starts charming her on the phone.
Well, they're demons. This is what they do.
I know. It was so good.
And she's like, oh, my house is always open. Oh, you need me to draw a sigil on my end? You're going to talk me through it, right?
I don't know where my husband's gone, but while he's out,
I'll get
Love
a
it.
charcuterie board ready for your arrival.
So good. And I love that she's just like a crazy enough artist that she's, oh, you need me to draw a Hellgate portal?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
Like,
sure.
But again, the brothers keep saying to Eva, hey, ask Ash how a human can travel through the portal. Hey, ask Ash how a human can travel through the portal. She never asks Ash how a human can travel through a demon gate.
See, demons can go through a hellgate.
So can cats.
oh, right.
Like a little tidbit right
Yeah.
Which tells you a little bit about them.
Yeah.
Mhm. We all knew they're demonic.
Yeah.
So how can a human pass through?
Drinking a little demon blood.
I like how she's like, I will not do this. I am not going to do this. I am not. Next chapter, here I am drinking the blood.
It only took me 3 times to keep it down.
It is pretty gross thinking about it being like warm
Ugh.
still.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It works. You don't just go through the gate and then end up in the next spot. You kind of pass through hell as a way station for a blip.
I feel like it's the express train where you're not getting off, but you're seeing all the scenery around you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bullet train through hell.
Yeah.
That's enough to make you go, nope,
He didn't prep her for that either.
no.
So they go through and she's like, what the fuck
Ugh.
is this?
Mhm.
And then they get to the other side and she's like, I'm sorry, what was that? And he's like, oh, it's just hell. Oh, I get it. Why you're running away now. Looked pretty awful. He's like, yeah, no biggie.
They're on the run. They're at her parents' house.
Dad has mysteriously been missing for a couple of days.
The mom thinks he just went off to go work on his things or went out to his office. Let's flash back over to Montreal. And Mist shows back up at Eva's apartment because he thinks at least he can trail her that way and figure out where they've all gone. And Mist runs into somebody because he steps on the wrong spot and he is trapped in a sigil. And who comes out from the shadows to be revealed?
Daddy Dan!
Daddy Dan.
Daddy Dan.
Daddy Dan sounds wrong. Wrong in so many ways. Joey, don't do that.
Oh, God.
And Daddy Dan's got some wings.
Yes, white feathered wings. Let's be
Yeah.
specific
Mhm.
because Ash has got wings too.
That's true.
They're
Yes,
just black
white.
and leathery.
Oh, so that means Eva's dad is an angel.
Yeah. And he is now going head to head with Mist. And how's it all going to work out? Well, that's why you got to read the book.
There's still a lot of action left in the book.
There's so much action, but really where we left off is probably like 75% of the book.
Yeah.
But so much happens in that last 25%.
Yeah, like so much. 50% of the book happens in 25% of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
It is so fun.
Speaking of fun, did you guys listen to the playlist that the author put together for the book?
No, I didn't make it to that.
Oh, Little Journey. So they talk so much about the jazz club, but they also talk about the music happening at the first club where she DJs. And so the playlist is just this fun mix of a lot of the jazz artists that she talked about, but also some more modern folks. I think there's even a section in the book where like Eva's talking to Ash about the music and she's like, oh, you love all the old school jazz people. Yeah, you really need to try some of this new stuff. It's not what you think and it's fun and fresh and stuff. She put together a little playlist for us to listen to. So check it out. I always love the playlists that authors come up with.
This book is so deeply invested with music.
So
Yeah.
the author is a pianist.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Cool.
awesome.
There's just a little piece at the end where she writes like, hey, thanks for going on this journey. And if you hadn't guessed, I'm a musician too.
So I have a question for you, ladies. We met the entire gang. Ash, Belle, Rome, Meth. Who were you drawn to out of the four brothers? Because they got a good ample amount of time. I think Rome the least
Mm.
out of all of them, making the assumption that everyone's going to have their own book.
Yeah, it's hard to say because I think with appearances, probably Ash. I also enjoyed Belle. I also enjoyed the side of Rome that we did get to see because the animals loved him. He was a little bit mischievous, but he also seemed really fun.
I love the part with the animals and stuff, but original description where he was kind of said to look like a gym rat, somebody who works out all the time with his like workout clothes and stuff. I'm like,
Not for me. Yeah.
Not for me.
Right.
You know, he'd be one I'd have to get to know him personally before I found him attractive.
Right. So probably Belle, but Ash, I love a good long silky haired guy.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
For me, it was definitely Belle because I have a thing for the grumpy guy. I really do
Uh-huh.
love me some mean, angry grumps that eventually turn into mush. That wasn't until I read book 2,
Oh.
My Demon Hunter, which literally just recently came out last week. And Mist is my man all the way.
I mean,
All the way.
he sounds so cute just from what we get to hear about him.
I was a puddle of goo
Really? Okay.
after listening to that book.
Shit, I kind of want to read
And
that
he
one
does
now.
some cool shit with his tail.
Oh.
So I'm
uh-huh.
definitely excited to keep going.
Interesting.
How cool is the shit he does with his tail?
After we stop hitting record, I will tell you what he does with his tail.
All
All right, well, that's not fair because we haven't read that book yet.
Well, yeah, and go read My Demon Hunter, book 2 in the series. I'm excited. I think this is going to be something that I'm going to keep going with.
Okay, well, I'm going to hope that there's going to be a Belle book because I was all for the angel wings and the fire and the cooking and
I hate to tell you, I think he's going to be last in the series.
Of course he is.
So Mist was second. I have a feeling Meth is going to be next, just based on what happens in Mist book. And then Rome. And then you got to wait on Belle. I think he's going to be the last one.
Well, that would make sense, too, if they're going to eventually all end up on Earth and have to have some kind of big confrontation. And this is just us spitballing now. Sorry, Aurora. But hey, that means we're invested.
Joey thought I was insane, but part of me wanted Meph to end up with Eva's mom.
I think that would be adorable.
No. She was holding him like he
was her
upper
son. Yeah.
Oh, that's a different kind of kink there, Bird.
Well.
No.
I just wanted her to have some fun, feel a little free.
He is several thousand years old, so it's not really like that.
This is where I'm going with it.
All right,
He
maybe.
is several years older than her.
Well, I guess it might be that time then.
It's that time.
It's that time.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
It's time for
Dishing with the dames.
So as you get a little bit further in this book, which we really didn't get too in depth about, Eva ends up embracing Asher's demonic side. And his demon form is a bit larger.
A bit?
All right, a shit ton larger than his human form. And at what point he changes while he is inside her.
Mm-hmm.
And all appendages become larger at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be something you would entertain should we live in the supernatural realm? Could you fuck a demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this is something far-fetched, and I'm asking you probably a weird question that you can easily answer yes at this point. Because we know there's no such thing as demons.
We think.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so it's funny that you're asking this, and Birdie's like, yes. And I'm like, two things ran through my mind when I was reading that. One, I was like, okay, if I was emotionally invested, then yeah, probably appearances wouldn't matter. And I get an extra surprise. Well, that sounds great. And then there was also the part of me that was like, I bet there are people in this world who would listen to this podcast and go, sinner. Well, they would be saying sinners anyway for all the things that we have talked about on this podcast.
The first 30 seconds we opened our mouth, we're blasphemous, lady.
It's one of those things where during like the Spanish Inquisition and such, they were talking about witches sleeping with demons. And I'm like, you know what? Girls just trying to have some fun. Jesus fucking Christ.
The girl's just trying to get laid.
And it really just boils down to the patriarchy trying to keep everybody down.
God, you're so right.
Would I fuck a demon in this context? Sure. Absolutely.
Would you fuck a demon, Joey?
Hands down, I would. Absolutely. There's no question in my mind. Again, but that's all in us being in the realm of like, this is really not a possibility, theoretically in my head.
Yeah.
From what I've seen on television or read in books, yeah, what the hell?
Right.
You know, usually their human forms are beautiful because they're supposed to be enticing and making you want to do very, very, very bad things. So yeah, of course I would. But, you know.
I loved that Eva called his horns her love handles.
Oh my God. Yes. That was great. And I'm just picturing it. I was more thinking handlebars. Pounding in and holding on to those bad boys on top of his head like,
Yeah.
Used for direction.
Yeah.
Up, down, left, right there.
So great. So great. Yeah. It's like, do I find the vision in my head of Asmodeus to be quite as sexy as his human form? No. But I think I could get there. Like you said, Lex, there has to be an emotional connection. Listen, I'm really taking this all the way.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, that scene was outlined so well. As he was transforming, his dick was getting bigger inside of her to the point where she was full. And she's like, give me more.
I also feel like he didn't go all the
No.
way because he didn't want to destroy her.
All 3 votes are demon fucker, yay.
Yay. Okay. Burned
0,
at the stake.
yay.
Yep. Burned at the stake.
Burned at the stake.
Absolutely.
Ugh.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I think it's time to rate this. All right, my friends. This has been a fun read. We are going to start with the romance. You can give this anywhere from 1 to 5 red roses. Birdie, where are you going with this?
Because this was kind of a cotton candy book,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit hard to say, but they were really, really cute. I was kind of torn on how high to rate this one because it's not super, super deep, but towards the end, you really do start to feel it. And I'm still torn to this very moment, but I'm going to land at a 4. They were really cute, and I loved how they kind of started like they were just blown away by how much they liked each other from the very start in every way. Looks, emotions, brains, things they like to do together. They're just very cute and willing to be committed from the get-go, but took their time until the point where, I mean, granted, it was very fast. Probably too fast for you, Joey. But
You're reading my mind across the room.
It was fast, but it felt right. It was just unstoppable force of love. 4.
I'm coming in at a little lower at a 3.5. And it's not even the insta-love component. Okay, I thought they were very, very cute. What kind of kinked up the romance for me was this is a demon with no soul that in a matter of 2 weeks, all of a sudden felt things, used the I love you word, and immediately passed out after having that intense emotion.
I love that so much.
Yes. I almost wanted to use the words that it felt really far-fetched. But let's be real here. We're talking about demons. We're coming to the human world in Montreal, Canada. The whole book was far-fetched.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cute. I think the word is cute. So for me, it's landing at a 3.5.
Yeah. That is probably closer to how I should have rated it, but I'm keeping it
It's
at
okay.
a 4.
Stick to your guns. Pew, pew.
Yeah, and I am also coming in at a 4 because, again, the romance is what's driving this. He left hell because he didn't fit in anymore. I think he was having emotions the whole time and didn't realize what the fuck they are. Just because you don't know what it is doesn't mean you're not having them. I equate it to like when you first start hitting puberty and everything feels so fucking intense. I feel like that's where he is. For me, it's all about the romance, and they're just making that connection, especially over the music. So that's why the romance is at a 4 for me.
It is his emotional puberty after a couple of millennia. Well, when you're an immortal,
It's early.
he is an adolescent when you think about never-ending lifespan.
Oh, but that brings us to the smut. So, Joey, 1 to 5 raindrops. How smutty is this?
So this is where I'm torn. This is the category where I'm having a pretty tough time with it.
Mm-hmm.
I originally wrote down a 3, and I think I'm going to stick with my 3. There was a good amount of smut in there, and it paced really early. I think it was too quick. I think the max I saw was maybe 2.5 pages. So when we were getting into it, it was just missing some of the details that would really kind of get under my skin and make the goosebumps appear. So what was there was fun, was good. There was some good dirtiness. Bite my ass, baby. Let's do it on a piano. Use the drywall as leverage to fuck you right back. Yes, it didn't leave a lasting impression or really get me steamed up because it just wasn't detailed enough for my liking. But if you're looking for good quality, slightly dirty steam, this book has it. So I think I'm going to go middle of the road and go 3 for me.
Gotcha. Okay, Bird.
Same. One of my pet peeves is when people go, the same as what she said, and then repeat everything that she fucking said. I'm not going to repeat it. There's no need.
So you're giving me a ditto.
I'm going to just say ditto, and I'm not going to be sorry about it.
And if you missed it, rewind for 1 minute and re-listen to my stupid ass say it all over again.
Yeah, not dumbass.
Okay.
Smart ass.
Amazingly, it's 3s across the board then.
Yeah.
For me, it's all quickies. We just had time for a quickie, so it's just a little bit of sex. Boop. Okay, great.
And it sucks because there was one line where she says, and then Ash proceeded to ravage her for the rest of the night.
Give me the rest of the night.
I want the rest of the night. I was like, are you fucking killing me?
So I was going to give it a 2 until we hit the demon sex scene. And then I was like, all right, you got me. That rose the score just a little bit. You get it for originality.
Yes.
I was just like, yeah, okay, you went there. And I'm very happy about that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if that's because I used to be an X-Men fan and my favorite one was Nightcrawler. And I always kind of wondered what that would be all about. I guess I'm a little weird from the beginning. So, okay. All right, moving on to the story. Okay, you can give from 1 to 5 storybooks. I'm going back to you, Bird.
So I think for the story, I'm going to give this a 4.5. I really liked the story. It moved so fast. It moved so fast, in fact, that my notes on the story stop about halfway through because I was so intently listening that I stopped pausing it to write down what was happening. And it was just going. And I just was like, ngang, 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 ngang. And I just couldn't stop listening. And I just didn't feel bad about that for 1 second. I thought it was super fun. I thought it had good twists and turns. I didn't see a lot of the things coming when they did come, and I was surprised. But then there were some things that she alluded to earlier in the book that I was like, yes, I get a little pat on the back because I caught that one, like I caught that little nugget and now it gets to pay off. So we've sat here for how many minutes talking about what are the other books going to be about? And I think that speaks a lot to how strong the story was, is that we're all dying to know what's next because we want more.
Yeah.
And all the characters were super fun. It was a really fun story. It felt very rooted in this world while being wildly fantastical. And it was just really entertaining.
Nice.
Yeah.
On to you, Joey.
The storylines were pulled from folklore that we know about demons, but it was brought into a real-world premise. So when you think about it, it's not like you've gone and read a romantasy where an entire world and people and fates were created, but it's still read beautifully, and it still captivated the ever-loving shit out of me, and I was in. For me, this is getting a 4. It was just fun and wild and had me in and captivated and entertained the entire time. So I really enjoyed the storyline for that.
Awesome. Yeah, again, across the board, 4. Maybe I'm rating it higher than I would have normally since our last book was so heavy. And this is just what I needed afterwards. I was like, oh, perfect. And I was just zooming through it. And you did, Aurora. You sent me down to the Google rabbit hole of like, let me look this up. Let me look that up. Let me look up the history of this because I have to.
Yeah.
It's who I am. I can't help it. And I just enjoyed it so much. And I like reading these books sometimes to kind of revisit what young love felt like. I don't want to get involved with somebody young. I don't want to relive that. But it's nice to be reminded of how it felt when it felt like new and fresh and just that intensity where you couldn't stop thinking about that person and you couldn't wait to see them again. Oh my God, and I got to call them. And, you talk on the phone for hours. The romantic line throughout this story was perfect for that. And then all the little pieces that was engaging about it. And so, I would actually like to see this as TV series, kind of in the vein of Supernatural,
Ooh. Yeah.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Just a quick little half an hour show.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So,
I like that.
All right, let's put it all together and see where we land. Joey, how many eggplants does this get?
This gets a 4 eggplant award out of me. I liked this book to the point where book 2 was released. I had already pre-ordered it. This is just a fun ride for me, and this is kind of like my jam. This is my cup of tea here. These are books that I enjoy in the lighter fare side. It's a good ebb and flow. I can't read dark romance or I can't read fantasy one after the other after the other. It takes a lot. So when you're peppering in these fun books that really give you a wild ride and a good time, it gives you a good balance. I loved it. So 4 out of me.
Nice.
I am also giving this 4 out of 5 eggplants. It was just super fun and easy. And it's just been really interesting to me thinking about this in relation to a lot of the other books that I've read over the course of my life. And this book is light and easy and just very entertaining. In itself, I'm just going to give it a 4. Every kind of book has to be rated relative to itself.
Yeah. But it's what you needed now.
Yeah. And it's just super fun. So, 4.
Yeah. I mean, where I am right now in my life, I needed a little bit of fun. So it delivered right at the time I needed it. We got 4 hot boys. So it's getting 4 purple eggplants. Yeah, that was childish. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. It's great.
Not to beat the dead horse, but loved it. It was just fun. So if you need a quick read, you need something to lighten up your spirits, and is a little bit on the weird kink side because, demon fucking.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Don't knock it till you try it.
All righty, we've done it. Thanks for being here, folks. Come and follow us on our social medias. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and we've started our own little Patreon. How about that? So hop on over there, like us, subscribe.
I really hope you don't want to miss any episodes. So wherever you're listening, scroll up to the top of the page, find our header, hit follow. Thank you. Follow us. You're going to want to listen to the next episode, I promise you.
And you know what? We're about giving you any way possible to stay in contact with us and hear everything that's coming up. So you could hop over to our website, thelustylibrarypodcast.com. Go all the way to the bottom, and guess what? You can sign up for our mailing list.
So I know we sound like a broken record.
Do we?
Because we ask and we beg and we plead that whatever platform you're listening to us on, that you leave us a review, leave us a star rating, or write us a comment. But this is the only way we can continue to grow this podcast and get it out there to more listeners. So please, 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 if you love the content you're hearing, show your appreciation for us. Go write us a review, leave us stars, comment, tell your neighborhood gynecologist about us. Help us spread the word about this podcast so we can continue to make great content for you and really keep you entertained while you're heading to work, heading to the dentist, going grocery shopping, heading to the library, or going to pay your water bill or parking ticket.
Oh my God, you really got me. If you're wondering what we're going to be reading next because you want to mentally prepare yourself and maybe read along with us, we are going to be reading Porn Star by Laurelyn Page and Sierra Simone.
Oh my God, I'm so excited for this one. These are 2 all-star authors.
And so they co-wrote this book. I didn't read about that very much.
Let me guess, you picked the book because of the name?
Okay, guys, confession.
Oh, fuck. Did it happen? Oh my God, hold on. I'm holding my thighs together. What happened, Birdie? Tell me.
I read some of the synopsis of this book.
Pod person, who are you?
I know.
What did you do with my birdie?
I know. I read some of the synopsis.
Holy
I think I just wet
shit.
myself.
I know. It sounded really fun. So I didn't choose it because of the authors, but I chose it because it sounded fun. And yeah, the name's Porn Star.
Yeah.
So it's just sounded fun.
Excellent.
Yeah. Get ready, everybody. It's going to be fun.
All righty. Thanks so much for joining us. We had so much fun with you. We love it when you show up. And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.